Everyone wants cooking to be easier, and over the years, various cooking gadgets have been invented for that very purpose. There's hundreds, if not thousands, all over the place. How are you supposed to know where to spend your hard-earned money? So today I'm gonna be trying the most viral cooking gadgets to determine whether they are useful or not, so you don't have to. Let's begin. The rolling, supposedly the egg master. I just wanna say real quick, this is their selling point. What is this? I'll be right back. It's an automatic egg cooker. Supposedly it prepares eggs, omelets, and frittatas. Always spray the hole. This is godless. This was not meant for humanity. Now we wait. I looked down into this and what I whiffed was quite literally a fresh fart from a butt. But it's also egg, so. It's wiggling a lot. This thing is pulsating. Oh! Oh my God! What the f is that? It's going back in. Oh my God. It's gone, it's finally gone. There's no way in hell that you're proud to sit down with your family and your children at the breakfast table before Papa goes to work and saying, eat up kids, eat up. This is abhorrent. How do you even salt this? If I didn't know this existed, I would be probably 2 to 3 times happier than I am moving forward. That's a big thumbs down. This is the singing pasta man. Because why set a timer and check your pasta? His name is Al Dente. This feels wrong on many levels, and I feel like anyone who's Italian American is probably going to get mad about this. So I'm not going to say anything, but here it is. So we got pasta. Oh, you're using Barilla. Shut the f up, okay? It's what's in the studio. We're using this. Here we go. Don't forget to salt your pasta. Frank! Who put him here? Frank! He's dead. So what is this supposed to tell me that it's doing this? Hey, the pasta's raw, pasta's raw. Okay, pasta when you cut it should not look like that. So as we've continued to cook this, I've realized that it's basically gonna go off at different intervals as the pasta cooks to remind you to check it. Thankfully, we live in the modern day where we can have a cell phone, use an egg timer, use the timer on your oven, have your mom stand there and wait for it to be cooked, or you stand there and wait for it to be cooked. It's fun, but is it useful? No, zero use, zero. This is the snap and strain. It's supposed to make straining pasta or things out of pots easier. All you do is snap it on, it's secure, I guess you strain. I don't think this is gonna work, to be honest, but we're here to try it, and I'm gonna really genuinely give it the good old college try. I'm not gonna do it to make it fail on purpose. I want these gadgets to work. So you strain. I do like the spout. The spout is nice. I lost a couple pieces of pasta, but it is nice to have this and not take as much room as a typical colander. I'm gonna double this up and see if it still works. This is more of like a family portion, you know? This is probably gonna serve 4 to 5, maybe 6 people. I mean, it works. I'm not gonna sit here and say it doesn't work. So we'll give it a thumbs up. It's not perfect. Colander would do the job better. This fish thing, which is for separating egg yolks. This is another single-use gadget, but it is kind of cute, I will say. I am genuinely trying. Oh, I got it. Okay, I guess I use the egg yolk now. Hey, you wanna see another tool you can use? I didn't have to buy that. You can also use a water bottle to do the exact same thing. I have no words. The finger guard. I know many of you are scared to cut, so this was made for you apparently. If you're gonna pull up with this, you might as well pull up with this.
I'm so scared, I gotta cut the widow's too, I know.
This is so weird. I mean, it works, but it makes it harder to cut and it makes me have worse form. To me, this is more dangerous because if this slips and you're relying solely on this and you don't have any real skills, you're probably gonna cut yourself. Thumbs down. Toss and chop scissors. Wow. It works, and I would give it a thumbs up, but it's just as efficient as just using a sharp pair of good scissors. The problem is that all the food gets caught in between these. I'm gonna give it a thumbs in between. Meh. Not a thumbs down, not a thumbs up. It's okay. For the next gadget, you're gonna, wait a minute, that's not a gadget, that's my cookbook, which you can buy now. The link's in the description, love you so much. It's not a gadget, it was a promo, I'm sorry. This is an avocado tool, one of the stupidest gadgets I think I've ever seen. Its sole purpose is to deconstruct avocados. People will complain about the price of, oh, I had to go buy flour and yeast and this, that, and the other, but then they'll buy this. You literally just needed a knife. You wanna know what you can use a knife on? Everything. So we have an avocado. There weren't really instructions with this. I guess this is the knife. It's not even long enough to go across the whole avocado. So what I'm gonna do when I do this is I'm just gonna rip and tear. Wow, I could have done that with a knife. Is this for the pit? I'm genuinely trying. Ah, there we go. It only took me 3 tries. You wanna know what else can do that? A knife. And I guess this is for scooping. It's to slice your avocado, of course. Is there a sharp end? Of course there isn't. That worked well. Perfect. Now what the do I do with it? Beautifully sliced, guys. Didn't even get the whole avocado. It's almost like the people who created this were like, yeah, there's only one size of avocado. And if I slice it, oh my God, wait a minute. Josh, what's going on? I don't know what I earned by having this. I mean, look, technically it works, but there's no advantage to this whatsoever, and it gives you a product. Thumbs down. This is called the guac lock, supposed to keep guacamole from going brown, I guess. So I guess this goes into this, which turns this into like a sealing chamber that's not so sealed so well, whatever. So the guac goes in here at the top. This is really weird. Then the lid goes on with its hyperbaric clamps, and then you press. I want you to know that this is as securely tied down as possible. I can't clamp this any harder and it's coming out the sides. So we're gonna clean this up and see if the guac gets brown. See ya. Okay, it has been a full 24 hours. How did the guac lock do? You know, I didn't think about taking this off. Oh, the ring came out. Well, I mean, it's not brown. I didn't oxidize at all. It tastes great. I'm shocked. All things considered, look, I don't like single-use items, but this did work. If you make guacamole all the time, you don't want to always make it every day, this might be for you. Granted, this is only 24 hours. I don't know how it does after multiple days, but hey, it did work. So usefulness, thumbs up. The breakfast sandwich maker. So this goes down in there. Okay, that's fun. Top bread with pre-cooked meats or ham, okay, and cheese, which barely fits in there, so that's gonna burn. I'm doing what it says. Make sure cooking plate is in place. Crack an egg onto your cooking plate. Okay, it doesn't specify to add salt, but I'm going to because I respect myself. Salty salt. Top with the other half of bread. This goes onto a raw egg. So that happened. Cook for 4 to 5 minutes. It's been 4 minutes. When finished cooking, rotate cooking plate until it stops. Something happened. I can't tell you if it's good, but it did happen. Using an oven mitt, lift ring assembly. Breakfast sandwich that's burnt on the bottom. I mean, it looks edible and it's ready to eat. What I don't like is the cheese is so melty that it's just kind of like sliding all over the place. Like my sandwich shouldn't be able to do this. Let's see if the egg is cooked properly. If I squish it, it should pop. The egg is cooked how some people like it, not how I like it. No runny egg. Let's get a cross section. I'll give it a try. I don't know how to feel about this one. I mean, technically speaking, it worked 100%. Time saving, I don't really know. Cause like the one thought is like, oh, well, you'd have to use a pan and this, that, and the other. But like really, you only need a pan and a ring mold for this. The whole point of this is convenience and ease, but you gotta clean this and you still have to clean this. If you have any ounce of cooking ability, I would just use a pan. You could invest $30 into this, or you can invest like a few bucks into a decent ring mold if you already have pans. To me, this is not worth it. To you, it might be. So I'll give it a 50-50 just cause it worked. But I mean, really, this is just an advanced ring mold. The fish scaler looks like some sort of torture device that's been combined with a weird handheld vacuum. What? Wait, it worked? I mean, there was very minimal flesh loss. Look at this. It can work once, but can it work twice? That's fucking insane. What do I say about that? I mean, I for one like skinning my fish with my knife. If you don't know how to do that and you really want to cook fresh fish, if this gets you to cook more fish, I mean, that's kind of useful. This is kind of badass. I don't know about the longevity of this machine, but I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. This torture device, why eyeball it when you can just buy an entire specific device just to make Hasselback potatoes? You gotta be an addict for that. This also only fits small potatoes, but hey, we'll try it. Oh my God, the tines aren't lined up. This is ruining my knife as we speak. It cut all the way through. Okay, I will try a larger potato. How the is this supposed to be held? Like down here? I see metal shavings flying everywhere. Yeah, I just scratched the shit out of my knife. Look at the discrepancy between all the different cuts here. None of them are even. This is a thumbs down and around and up your This is a corn peeler to get the kernels off. Again, a knife. I feel like all these could just be solved with a knife. Damn, that's juicy. I will say it did work pretty good. But again, if you already have a knife, guess what? You could do the same thing. Yeah, well, it did it once, but can it do it again? It's a little messy. It doesn't give good clean cuts. You can still do this with a knife, but if you're really scared of using a knife, I will say it did work surprisingly well. I mean, this is a clean cob. Point is, I'll give this, out of the kindness of my heart, a thumbs up. The slap chop. I hate this thing, but it's unwarranted because I've never tried it, so we're gonna try it today. You know what's dumb? If you need to cut an onion for this, guess what you're gonna need in order to start it? A knife, because you're gonna have to cut this in half and make it fit in here so that you can cut it again. That is already an L for the slap chop. Here we go. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh, it doesn't fit. All right, let me take more of it out. I will say it worked, but look at this. I only did a quarter of this onion. So I gotta still cut this, peel this, put it back in there, all over again. Like, are we really that lazy as a society? We gotta do this? The pancake batter mixer and dispenser. It's an all-in-one. So it's a protein shake bottle with a spout. To me, this could be useful. If you wanna make pancakes, you don't wanna have a bowl and a whisk and you gotta get the ladle and all that stuff. It's a lot of stuff to wash. This is kind of everything in one. So if this is able to mix the batter properly, then this might be a win. The bottom twists off, I'm assuming to add ingredients. Okay, so I'm not loving this aspect. This is gonna take a while. We have our flour. Now we add our sugar, salt, and all of our other ingredients go in. All right, that's not a ton of room to shake, but we're gonna try. Moment of truth. Well, I hope that's good. Only one way to test it. I will say there is a lot of unmixed flour in there, but I do like the dispensing. Lumps are okay. My question is everything really properly mixed? Because I shook that as much as I could have shaken it without over mixing it. I mean, it's a pancake. I'll be damned. You could even do like little mini ones. Dude, pancake cereal, little silver dollars. This is a big dub. This I would actually use. This is pretty badass. I do like this, very good. I'll be taking this home with me, thumbs up. The digital measuring cup. This both measures in cups, milliliters, volumetric basically, but also in grams, in weight, which I do like. I have high hopes for this, but couldn't you just buy a scale? Because that's what this is, it's a scale with a container on it. I don't know how to feel about this one. Anyway, so if we were gonna make pancakes, for example, we need 300 grams of flour, which there you go, that's 300 grams. You know, I had high hopes for this and I'm just now realizing this is kind of dumb. I feel like this would be more useful if it was a spoon that measured in grams, but a measuring cup that also measures in grams? I guess for recipe writing purposes, it could be useful. If I was recording a recipe and knew I needed 2 cups of milk, but didn't know how much that was in grams, I could do that in here. So if you're writing recipes, this is useful. If you're not, it's not hugely useful. So, right? Let us know in the comments what you think. The hot dog slicer. Well, at least it fits. Oh, and he gets a little doggy bowl for your favorite condiment. Okay, how do I get the hot dog out of here? It's like stuck. There we go. This is child abuse. I mean, I guess the hot dog's cut up for you, but now you gotta clean this shit out. It works, but not very well and made a huge mess. Just use a knife. Completely useless. The sushi bazooka. I think any sushi master that were to see this would probably not be stoked. But you know what? We're here to try it. You still need a sushi mat for this, which kind of to me defeats the purpose. It's just like an extra step, but yeah. We got some sushi rice, and I guess you put some on the other side. I'm gonna do a little bit of spicy salmon, some sushi cubes, a little bit of carrot in there. Put it together like you're praying that this works. And that gets locked down. Like I said, the real irony is that you still gotta use a sushi mat. Typically, all you need to make sushi is a sushi mat and nori. We added an extra item in that process. Couldn't tell you why. Oh! Hard to say it didn't work. I mean, it's kind of falling apart, so I better roll this. Well, the nori's not really sticking because there's no rice on it. It sticks to the rice. This, on the other hand, we're adding a little bit of water just so that it sticks and stays shut. Yeah, it's basically just like a sushi sandwich. I know most people will probably look at this and go, oh, it worked. It's just not the technique of sushi that I think really makes sushi special, which is the attention to detail. This feels like an unnecessary add-on. You don't need to spend the money on it. You just need one of these and some nori. To pay money for that, does that make it better? No. That's a thumbs down for me, but for some people it might be a thumbs up, maybe for you. This is the Chef Emulster. It makes salad dressing, because why use a bowl and a whisk when you could just buy this thing? Add your ingredients for a nice salad dressing. I'll put some Dijon, a little garlic, some dried herbs, a wee bit of honey, some balsamic, a wee bit of salt, and olive oil. Here's the thing, it did sort of emulsify it. There's a bunch of stuff stuck at the bottom. Get yourself a little garden salad, a little salt, sauce. It's coating the leaves nicely. It's a good dressing. You can do this with a basic bowl and a whisk, but the benefit is everything is concealed into one. So it does save you dishes. Is it useful? Yeah, sort of. I'll give it a thumbs up. The ice cream ball is a ball that makes ice cream. This side, I guess, ice and salt goes in. Boy, that's a tight hole to fit all this ice in. Science! And then does this, it's like a kickstand, all right? And then we have rock salt. That side is now locked down. All right, and then the other side goes in. Any ice cream custard should work. So this is, I should have used the kickstand. Yeah. I left a little bit of space so it can move around. Okay, and then you're just gonna nice and tight. Do you play with the ball or do you just, oh, woo! That was fun. Let's check it. Jesus Christ. Any child that has to open is either has superhuman strength or they're gonna need to call mommy and daddy. Perfect. It's been 10 minutes. It says to scrape around the inside with a spatula. Get some of the frozen bits, which I see. It's making ice cream. All things considered, you do it long enough, eventually it's gonna work. And ice cream machines are expensive. This is cheap, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun. If I had kids, this would be pretty cool. So I'm gonna give this a thumbs up. This is the Cucina Pro tortilla press and cooker. It does both at the same time. So we have a tortilla dough. Form that into a ball. It presses it for you, so you just put it on here, right? Flip. It's okay. I mean, it's puffing. It works, it's just a really ugly tortilla. It's not bad. Traditionally, the pressing and the cooking should be separate. Otherwise, you end up with this sort of like crispy exterior, but it does taste good. But as a tortilla press, not worth it. This is a garlic grinder. This may look familiar to some of you. I feel like someone was not sober when they came up with this idea. It's sort of grounded up, but there's like whole bits and pieces of garlic in here. Most people already have a garlic press or some sort of a grater. Just do that. This is silly. But if you want to be a silly goose, I guess you could buy this. I would buy this to be a silly goose. This is a famous knife sharpener. We all know that I'm a big fan of just using a whetstone, flat stone. Okay, that's how I like to sharpen my knife. It's the old school way. This is the new school way. So I guess you pick your angle, 20 degrees or 15 degrees. Yeah, that's different. I guess 20. These are the instructions I got. You guys feel confident with that? All right, f it. To test the dullness, not very sharp. That should have gone right through. It's magnetic. That scared the f out of me. I was like, whoa, Magneto's in the room. It just literally, okay, so it holds your knife in place. And then you pick your grit. Do you not wet it? I guess we'll start on the coarse grit. And then you just, oh my God, I've never even seen this many metal shavings before. Time to polish. This is scary. I feel more concerned that I'm gonna cut myself with this than anything else. Look, let me just stop for a second. I'm sure this is going to work. The blade is literally facing you. Like my hand is at most 1.5 inches away from this thing. So if I slip, my hand's going into this knife. Why would you invent a knife sharpener where the blade is facing directly towards you? I guess I haven't cut myself, so there's that. Here we go, guys. We're doing it again. It's very difficult to get this to stay put. So we sharpen for 5 minutes. Wow, that works so good. And now there's metal shavings all over my board. Here's a knife that I sharpened on a whetstone. I have not sharpened this knife for probably 3 months. Maybe if you did this for 30 minutes, it would work. I know someone in the comments is gonna be like,
I have that and I love it so much.
I think this could be useful if you don't want to learn how to use a whetstone, but it is so much more dangerous. I'm not a fan of this product. Am I using it wrong? Also, I want to clarify, this grit is so coarse. I don't have a single stone that is this coarse. And this grit is not quite as fine as it could be, so you don't really have any real polishing. To me, this is the most sharpening you're gonna get. In comparison to any other way to sharpen your knife, this, not useful. This is the citrus sprayer. Supposedly this goes into any citrus and it suddenly turns it into a spray bottle. What? Okay, so I got a little rainbow trout here, some brown butter. Typically I would add salt and I'd just squeeze a little cheek of lemon juice, but with this, needs more lemon. I mean, look, it's not very practical. To me, it would be more useful to just buy a spray bottle and have thousands of uses for a spray bottle. You can squeeze lemons and then put them in the spray bottle, but it does work. So because it's a single-use tool, I would typically give it a thumbs down, but because it is so remarkable, I'll give it a 50-50. Almost a thumbs up. Next, we have the watermelon cutter. You might be asking yourself, well, how does this cut watermelon? This looks like the thing that they put on the cowboy boots that go tink, tink when they're walking. So I'm gonna cut this in half first. So you trim the end off, and then I guess you just kind of line it up in the watermelon. This is stupid. It sort of works. Okay, so if you try to go all the way down, like to get a cube, it will give you 1 cube, and then the rest it will give you juice. That is scary. I mean, it sort of works. The problem is that it just randomly gets stuck because it's not manufactured very well. Yeah, that time it didn't even do anything. I'm sure that if this worked properly, it would work decently, but it didn't work for me, okay? It didn't. If you have a kitchen knife, just learn how to cut a watermelon. You take the watermelon and cut the edges off, okay? It's not that hard. Shave off the ends. Oh my God, I'm having to take time with this, but you know what? You're gonna spend that amount of time cleaning up after this. And then you just, there, watermelon. And I didn't lose 1,000,000 gallons of juice. It's all in here. Not really worth it. Okay, so we have the fry wall. It looks a little bit comedic, but essentially the point is, whenever you're cooking something in a pan, you got oil splattering everywhere, especially if it's high heat, like you're searing something such as a steak, for example, so I'm gonna sear a steak. I got a hot pan, put this thing in. Steak goes in, Okay, weigh that bad boy down. Let it do its thing. I'm gonna sear it nicely. The most splatter intensive items are usually things with a lot of moisture. The liquid comes out, it gets in the hot pan, it sputters, and it spits oil everywhere. I'm watching these countertops. So far, so good. I don't know if this plastic is good to be this close to the heat, but forget it, it's fine. All right, and we flip. I mean, there's a little splatter, but it's not too bad. So I'll cut off the heat. Once that's said and done, we got a seared steak. Wow, that is hot. I mean, it worked. If this is something that really bothers you, I would probably use this again at home, to be honest. This is good. I'll give this a thumbs up. The Chef IQ, this is a thermometer probe, okay, goes in to protein or whatever you need to check the temperature of. We got a seared steak. It's thick. It's obviously raw. It needs to be cooked to medium rare, so I'm gonna stick that into the thickest bit, make sure it's nice and centered in the steak, put it in the oven to finish. Obviously, our target temperature is 130. We can monitor on the app, and well, we'll see how accurate it is. Oh, it knows the ambient temperature too. That's crazy. So it does internal and external temperature. I mean, pretty cool. We'll see how accurate that is. We got a little notification, it popped. It's like, please remove your food from the oven. So I'm gonna do that. It's a thick boy. We're gonna let this guy rest and see if it was accurate. Damn, this is a juicy boy. You know what, actually, I'll just cut it into slices. See that? Fatty, juicy, it's maybe even a little bit over medium. You know, it was done in an oven. It's not perfectly evenly cooked, but it did measure 130. The best part is we were able to walk away. You don't have to constantly stick a probe in and check it and take it out and put it back in. You got a million holes in it, you stick it in once. That is a thumbs up. The hyper chiller. So the purpose of this is to quickly cool things down. It says you pour something in here and then in 1 minute it is cold, ice cold. Hot coffee. How hot is it, Josh? Well, give me a second, will you? This is at 161 Fahrenheit. They say to pour it in and let it sit for 1 minute, so that's what we're gonna do. I wanna clarify, it says on their webpage to pour it in for 1 minute and it's cold. I'm gonna even put it in a fresh container that is cold. The room temperature is 70, so it better at least be 10 to 15 degrees lower. That is actually above room temperature. Wow, you're spending $24 on this. You have to freeze it overnight for a single use. You can't even clean this until it's thawed out. You're gonna chill to 80 degrees, slightly above room temperature, 1 cup of liquid at a time for $24. You can use stuff you already have. 2 bowls, ice and water will do the exact same thing. Is it worth it? No. This is an electric salt and pepper mill. You just press a button and damn, that's kind of fire. I've actually never used one of these before. Okay, the pepper's a little slow. Do it on the other side. Pepper's a little faster now that it started going. Salt. Here are my thoughts. I would prefer this to just be a pepper mill. I think salt 100%. If you want to season things accurately, you got to do it with your hands. You get a bowl, you got salt, and you sprinkle it by hand always. That's the best way to really get intuition on how much salt you're putting on your food. But if this was just pepper, big dub. Love that. So for a pepper mill, thumbs up. An automatic stirring device. At first sight, I'm like, this could be useful. You know, sometimes it's annoying to have to constantly go back to the pot and stir. No burning at the bottom of the pan, it stirs it for you. So you put the thing in the hole, and then that's gonna go into a pot of something simmering that would require stirring in the first place. It does clamp quite well, I will say. And you let it rip. And I guess it does that. What I'm noticing is this is not stirring the whole pan. It might work with a larger pot. So look, for $60, not really worth the expense. I have a feeling this is not gonna last, but even if it did, it's not solving that much of a problem because it's not even getting the whole pan. If this thing fails to do its job, you just wasted money. That's, to me, a thumbs down. The all-in-one kitchen tool. If at least 4 of these options work well, I'll say it's useful. You can use the base of it, get yourself a little lemon, boom, you got a juicer. Look at that. That works well. This is a bottle opener. So if you wanna open it, it did make it easy. I'll say that one's useful, so that's 2. This is a measuring cup, 100, 200, and 300 mils, so you better hope that you know metric. I'm willing to bet that this does not contain water very good. We're off to a good start. Okay, wait, I've received word on how to use this. So this goes on here, and then this becomes a funnel. Well, that's useful. By the way, pictures on the box don't help at all. You just gotta figure it out. So that's 3, needs to get 1 more. This is for eggs, and then you just kinda, I mean, I guess. I'm 50-50 on whether or not that's really that useful. This attachment is a cheese grater, and then I guess you just kinda, I mean, it grated the cheese, but in a useful way, no, because eventually you're gonna reach a point where you can't even grate the cheese. But I mean, it did grate the cheese. Way too coarse. This is kind of like a Roshi pad. Just take your ginger. The last one we have, unfortunately, turned out to be actually kind of badass. completely useful. I wasn't expecting it out of this weird bottle. For 15 bucks, this is probably one of the most bang for your buck tools I have ever seen. Out of all the tools today, I'm delighted to say that the last most ugliest tool in the arsenal happened to be one of the most useful. At the end of the day, no matter how silly something looks, maybe there is a good use to it. Maybe there is meaning behind some of these weird gadgets that are out there. Give something a chance, but also single-use tools are pieces of and you should never use them. A knife solves most of your problems. I love you, good night, and don't forget to subscribe.